The aftermath of a deadly American drone strike in Pakistan. Images like these have soured US-Pakistan relations for almost a decade. No Pakistani official has ever acknowledged sanctioning US drone strikes until now. What you're saying here, on occasion there was agreement?
No, only on very few occasions where the target was absolutely isolated and had no chance of collateral damage.
Pervez Musharraf was Pakistan's military ruler when drone strikes began in 2004 and was bitterly and publicly critical of them. Now he admits there was a secret deal.
One discussed at the military level, at the intelligence level, to strike, and if at all there was no time for our own SOTF and military to act, and that was very, maybe 2 or 3 times only.
Back then, Al-Qaeda and Taliban fleeing US forces in Afghanistan set up camp over the border in Pakistan's tribal region. America and Pakistan had a common enemy and a common strategy: kill militants when they could.
The answer used to be that this was a fleeting target and we couldn't delay the action. I mean, these ups and downs kept going. You see, this is a very fluid situation, a vicious enemy and a fluid situation, mountains, inaccessible areas.
By the time he was forced from office in 2008, Musharraf says he sanctioned only a couple of strikes. The vast majority came under the civilian government that followed him. Since 2003, there have been more than 350 drone strikes in Pakistan, mostly in the semi-autonomous tribal border region close to Afghanistan. There are no precise figures for how many people have been killed, but estimates range upwards of 1,900, and of those, more than several hundred are believed to have been civilians. Most Pakistanis detest the drone program for the loss of life and because it violates Pakistan's sovereignty. Ministers here routinely condemn them.
What I can say today, the world power, the world superpower, is having its own way without having any consent from Pakistan.
But a diplomatic cable obtained by WikiLeaks tells another story, recounting a meeting between the US ambassador, Malik, and the then Prime Minister, Gilani. She wrote, Malik suggests we hold off alleged predator attacks until after the Bajur military operation. The PM brushed aside Rahman's remarks and said, I don't care if they do it, as long as they get the right people. We'll protest in the National Assembly and then ignore it. Musharraf too covered up US drone attacks when it suited him. When militant Nek Mohammed was killed in 2004, the Pakistani army said it killed him in a rocket attack, except it didn't. So Nek Mohammed killed by a drone or by Pakistani military, US drone?
I think he was killed by US drones. Yes. So, but there was no agreement as such, and every time we did object.
Objections that were frequent, loud and public, but not always sincere. Nick Robertson, CNN, Islamabad, Pakistan.